Joseph Weidinger. All right. We are going to pick up where we left off coding yesterday. So I'm going to pull up the good old terminal here. All right, what are we doing? Magic. Personal magic packages API. The background is weird. I don't know why. It just looks awful. What the hell? All right, I guess it figures itself out. Let's open up this project. I forgot where we left off, so we'll figure that out, and then we'll get to it. Okay, the duration function is not generic enough because it requires a kind. Okay. That makes sense, actually. So duration, time, moment duration. So what is time? Time is a stopped interval here, but doesn't have a kind on it. So we can't just do that because this time expects a kind because it's an occurrence. So we could do that. First of all, we know it's a stopped interval. Okay, I just clearly copied that function. Here's the thing. I don't know if we need a specific function. So we can do that. That's helpful, but it's not totally necessary. All right. So if it's a stopped interval, we already know it's a stopped interval because it's in the stopped interval resolver. So we don't need to do that. We just need to give it this. But we just can't do that. So is stopped interval. What is time.stop? It's milliseconds, isn't it? Not necessarily, because we expect everything to resolve into a proper date. So I think this can go away. All right. So we can't do diff because that doesn't exist on a number. But the thing is, it's going to be more than a number because it's a scalar. Yeah. So that somehow needs to be represented. So let's just do time. Let's do this. Any. And then we'll void console.log time. The next step is figuring out why. Oh, it's getting the absolute value of it. So it's still expecting something else. Duration is not assignable to type number. Duration is missing the following properties from type. Then catch. I feel like this normally happens when I'm just completely feeding it something wrong. I don't even know what it expects though. Here's the thing. What is this thing? It's a type. We know that. It's a type of time interval, but it also implements occurrence. All right. Let's do this time any. Moment duration. Let's get this out of there. It's just going to be a moment date. It stopped interval. Good. That can simply transform to that. Why is it having a problem? Because we haven't specified. Is this all under the guise of duration? Yeah. So it's a duration. All right. So it still doesn't like that, but that's fine. Let's put this in there. So that's how to resolve that. That looks correct. Okay, who's returning this? A narrative. Okay, in reality, it returns the interface, probably. Looks like. Time interval. Well, what's the narrative give off? Well, first of all, what's it coming in as? I need to look at that again. So let's boot this thing up. npm run API dev. All right, sweet, we're having errors. Let's just do as any for now. So we can get this thing to boot up. Sweet. So what we were trying to do is create a narrative with 3 minutes ago, but we wanted to actually to become a time. Okay, let's look at our narratives. Description, working on magic. Start. Let's try to create this, do this mutation. Oh shit. It looks like it picked up on it. Did that just work? Wait a minute. Why is it not showing up here? Oh shit, I accidentally clicked out of it. Goddamn. Narrative. Narratives. ID. Description. Let's select the time. Start on ongoing interval. We want the start. Duration. Oh, it has to. I see. Doesn't know the duration. And on time.stopped interval, we're going to get stopped. And these are all humanized. And we want the duration in minutes, I guess. What am I forgetting? Minutes. Oh, that's fine. Why is it not like that? Oh, this is what I'm looking for. I actually don't want that. 5 minutes ago. That looks accurate. Working on magic. Oof. That's not right. Is it not showing the most recent narrative? Is that the issue? No. Although that says 5 minutes ago, I don't know what's going on. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Let's see what our data looks like. Another. So it has the pieces of data in there. ID, description, start. Doesn't have a stop. And this seems to have stopped the previous running one, which is correct. It's just not displaying in here. And I have no idea why. It's just not pulling them. I don't know what to say. It's as if it's not reading the right archive. Let's try this. Let's pull off that slice on the real one. Nope, didn't help at all. Although that's interesting. We'll investigate that later. I really want to figure out what's going on here. This get all raw archives is just not working. We need to have some logs in here. So where is it pulling the local? It should be in context. Right here, make archive, local, get most recent archive. Reduce, date. Okay, let's put a little console log here. Getting archive. So it's reading the directory. Okay, good. That's what I want. It's the text. Okay, that should be the most recent, right? It's this one, 825. Yeah, that's it. So it may just have a corrupted, something corrupted. Let's back it up a little bit. Let's make a new one, call it another. Cool, that seemed to have worked. Let's put this 300 minutes ago. What does that do? Did it erase it? Okay, that behavior doesn't seem intended. So working on magic, stopped 3 hours ago. That makes sense, actually. Why does it say this stopped? So it stopped a few seconds ago. It's always going to be a few seconds ago because it hasn't stopped. Why is it a stopped interval? It's an ongoing interval. Something is not resolving it to the correct type. I think it's thinking that it has a stop time, but it shouldn't. Okay, I just gotta set a timer here. Might be getting a cat. Okay, I gotta blank out the screen real quick. Sorry, I'm distracted. All right. Just gotta message Caleb now. Okay, comment tomorrow at 3 is the time for the cat. All right, back to business. Great. So now we got to figure out why it I almost think that I wonder what this stop time is. Well, it's probably going to be something, right? Void console.log determining whether ongoing or not at GraphQL level. All right. Okay, I don't want to print out all that stuff. Don't need to print out that anymore. All right. Wait, what? I don't know what just happened. See, this stop is just total BS. Wait, what? I don't know what's going on. It shouldn't be doing that. Wait, maybe it should. Time interval. I'm asking it for a time interval. How is it determining? Who's using this thing? Wait, maybe no one is. And that's the problem. This time is an occurrence. What's an occurrence? An occurrence is an interface. So an interval emits that. Oh, it could be an interface, or it could be an interval. But it looks like it's not. What else implements time occurrence? Wait a minute. Why would it have stop if it wasn't a stopped interval? Okay, where's the resolver for time occurrence? Up here. Determining time occurrence. All right, sweet. It says these are all stop intervals. Well, that's BS. Okay, why are they all registering as stopped intervals? Actually, where's this loaded? Narrative. Okay, narrative is a place where it's happening. Something in here, this time, is transforming it. Convert to formatted base type. Wait a minute, what? Time dot stop that value of. Where's the kind? Takes in the kind. Time dot from selection. Okay, this should return a time, which might be an ongoing interval. Okay, why is this not coming back correctly? Let's just dip in there and see what's going on. Yikes. That's way too many things. I'll tell you what. Let's limit it to 1. Since it really only deals with the first one. Okay, there's a start. There's a stop. Why is there a stop? Okay, this goes back even farther then. It's an ongoing interval. It shouldn't be stopped. Probably because it's forcing it to create a moment date, to be honest. That's probably the mistake. Here's the source. Notice that there's only a start. So really, we want this to be undefined. We don't want it to create a moment date. So this selection, let's see what this, see, stop can be undefined. So that means we can do this. Make it undefined. And therefore, this should now register. Stop should not appear here because it's not a stopped interval. There we go. It has a duration now because we asked for duration. That's awesome. We can keep clicking this and the duration goes up. All right, that was that issue. Now we can take out all these console logs because we know what they are. That from interval can go away. So now we're still left with this issue. It appears to be working. Diff is not a function. Oh, shoot. Okay, now we know that time is not... Okay, here's where we get this error. Time is start, stop, and a kind. So it is not... Stop is not what we... anything... Okay. Let's think about this. It doesn't know what time is. Stopped interval. This is a number, so that's why it's complaining. But why hasn't it serialized itself into a moment date? To be honest. So, this time... Okay, let's look at that. Let's look at the type for this. It's format duration. No, that's what it expects on the output. Parent type. Time stopped interval. Okay, what's this? There it is. Start, stop, and duration. Now, who told it to be that, though? Do I have some mapper? I don't even know what we're looking at anymore. Doesn't look like I have a mapper for that. The basic problem is that I think the way it was coded before was that this time was a moment object. And now it's not anymore. But maybe it should be a moment object. Now, I'm kind of confused. So, what gets passed down is off narrative. Let's go to narrative. And time occurrence, that resolves basically to a stopped interval or an ongoing interval or whatever, eventually. But what gets passed down here into time is not a moment. I need to go check the original to see what's going on because I don't want to just willy-nilly change this without having some meaning. API source schema narrative. How was time passed down before? There's the mutation, which is really long. I don't know where it is. This is the original code. Query, narratives, here we go. Args, time, selection. See, how does it know it's a time selection? It's because it was serialized to be that way, right? Is there a time? I'm confused. Is that a scalar or the result of a scalar? We need to figure this out. Because we might not be leveraging the power of that scalar. Here's where time is. What's the input, actually? No, wait, this isn't input. We're going from raw tags. I don't know. This is coming from a database. It's not input world. It's probably not a scalar. So if they're raw narratives, rather, then what we need to do is just say, hey, look, this is what it is. Well, we're making a selection here. All right, let's just do the intuitive thing for now. And just, it already knows what it should be. So we just need to do that. So diff doesn't exist on time.stop, obviously. Time.stop and time.start, those are numbers. We can't diff them. So what we need to do is wrap them in moment objects, but I feel like I'm missing something if I have to do this. So another problem is that stop might not exist. Wait, what? Time dot, okay, stop is correct. Why is it complaining about that? Can moment not take in a stop? Or start? What the hell? Is time.stop really a promise? That makes no sense. I need to turn the fan on. It's getting hot. All right, so it's complaining that time.stop. I'm getting gaslit by the compiler here. Let's do this. Const stop equals time.stop. What is stop? Should be a number. Oof. Why? What's with this resolver type wrapper? That's sketch. It should just say number. It should not say resolver type wrapper. What is this resolver type wrapper? The resolver type wrapper probably says it's a value or it's a promise that resolves a value. Yep, that's exactly what it says. Well, why does it think that time is that? Or time stopped interval has resolvers with the source of that. Is this in my code gen? Why is it inferring that? By the time it gets here, time should definitely be a number. Let me just code gen again. See if I'm missing something obvious. Okay, it still thinks that time is... I don't understand. Oof, wait a minute. Formatted date. Resolver types. What is going on? Why does it say formatted date here? That's what it expects. We want to look at the duration resolver. Time stopped interval resolvers. Duration resolver. Parent type. Parent type extends resolver parent types. What's this? That's weird. Parent type extends resolvers parent types. I don't know what to do here. Clearly this should work, and I'm sure it does. If we just do any. If we do that, I'm sure it'll work. Oof. Wait a minute. Duration. Can I return null? Maybe there's something jacked. Oh, I'm not returning it. That's why. Yeah. All right. So why can't it infer this type correctly? It's parent type. extends that. Time stopped interval. Which it's omitting start, duration, and stop. And instead replacing it with these. Why is it doing that? They're all kind of doing that. All the ones that are formatted durations and such. All right, how do I figure this out? How do I get myself out of this one? Because really, we shouldn't need to do any of this stuff. Well, see, wait, it doesn't even know what this is. We need to fix a universal problem here. Yeah, it just literally doesn't know what any of this stuff means. I think we just need a mapper. I don't know. I don't think it's that complicated. In fact, I don't even know why are we converting this to formatted base type? It's an occurrence. Why can't it just be a selection? What's this even do? So if it's a stopped interval, it puts the kind, puts milliseconds. Ah, that's what's funny. Wait, it was already in there. All right. Okay, we don't need to do this. This is dumb. I think. Shit. Let me comment this out. Okay, now let's go back to this. We don't need to do that. Now this is complaining. It's because narrative. Let's see what this is. Mappers. Wait, what? This narrative is a raw narrative. Well, that's what we expect the incoming type to be. That's because we don't have a good mapper for the time. What is the object of this? Object. It's a time.selection. So let's say that time occurrence. Actually, it is a selection. Wait a minute. No, you can give it a selection. It's going to return an occurrence. But that is an interface. Okay, where's our codegen? Where's our mappers? Export type time occurrence equals time dot import all as oops, where am I? Source schema time dot to yikes. Where am I here? Time dot from selection. Oh, it's time. What is this? Time dot time, I think it is. Time. That's what a time occurrence is. Sweet. So let's generate the code for that. Now let's see where our types are in our narrative. It's still complaining. Why is this complaining? You liar. Moment is not assignable to number. Property start are incompatible. I know it's... Wait. Yeah, this codegen is just confusing me. Resolver type mapper number. Where is he getting this idea from? Type instance. Instant. What's complaining about the instant? I don't know if this gets used anywhere. Why is it so hard? What does it expect? Narrative resolvers. Time. Time occurrence. What is this start formatted date nonsense? It's an occurrence, but it's... What? Is that because that's the only thing it definitely has in common? These interfaces are driving me nuts. Because that is the only thing an occurrence can have. But that's why we have an interface. That's why you have something to resolve the interface. Like this. And it resolves the correct type. Based on the kind that it has. Which a time does have. Why is this complaining? Wait, I didn't actually put the mapper in there. That's probably why. Never mind. I'm just dumb. I'm not dumb, I do dumb stuff, that's all. Okay, we're just going to go mappers time occur. Alright, let's start that over. Now let's see what we got. I don't know what I'm listening to, but it's annoying. I just want some lo-fi stuff, dude. Actually, let's put on the Hour soundtrack. Feeling that. Hello? Alright, that's much better. Okay, so it should be better now in time. Time. Index. Packages API schema time. Perfect. Now it knows what that time is. Wait, does it? Parent type. Extends resolver's time occurrence. Time occurrence. It's mapped. Great. The mapping is complete. Where was I? Time. Now, it should know what's going on. Source. What do you mean it doesn't exist? Well, this is an interval. What? A time does have a start and stop, does it not? No, it doesn't. Not anymore. Because we can do that. But not quite. Time.stop.diff. What is time again? Time is a moment object, right? Time.start. Why is it a number? Well, it should most definitely not be a number. Is it because I have to stub out? I think I do. It doesn't automatically do that. GraphQL Cogen. Time. Start interval. Ongoing interval. Mappers. It's the same thing as this over and over and over. So if we generate this again, we can go back to our index time, and it should be a lot happier now. Okay, that's correct. What is stop? Stop does not exist on time. That's right. It's because well, it knows that's right. And we don't really need to. No, that's fine. Okay. An interval. I don't know what to do about interval yet. I want to focus on the stopped interval. Oh, I guess it's just a specific type of interval. But in occurrence, I don't know if this even gets used, to be honest. So it knows it's a time object, but the problem is that a time, as defined up here, is an instance or instant ongoing interval. It's an occurrence. and an occurrence only has start and kind. But we do have this at our disposal. And so we do actually know that this is a time dot, it's a stopped interval. We know that, we can assert that. Wait, if we can assert it, then we might as well write it in the mappers. Let's do that. Cogen. So this stopped. These intervals are not. Let's not go that far quite yet. So this should still work. Why is that complaining though? That's complaining as well. Time is not assignable to stopped interval. Most likely the same thing here. What does ABS return? A duration. What does duration expect as the input? I think it expects a number, so it should be dot value of. I think it's as milliseconds. Well, that's not happy about that. Are you kidding me? Is not assignable to type. What is the stopped interval? The duration is the same, I'm afraid. Let's look at the type. It's a formatted duration, the same as an ongoing interval. Therefore, a number should be fine. That should be completely valid, as it is here. I don't know why it's complaining. That's absurd. I'm tired of standing. As milliseconds. That's completely legitimate. Okay, this instance is curious though. Types of parameters time and parent are incompatible. Type time is not assignable to stopped interval. I think it's complaining about this. Well, that's ridiculous. That's why we probably need this mapper, to be honest. So let's go to the cogen. So if we go to our mappers file, we have time occurrence, which is time.time, which is a very broad stroke. That makes sense for this, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense for this, because we know those have more detail and nuance to them. So what we actually need to make is a time stopped interval, which is equal to time.stopped interval, and a time.ongoing interval, ongoing interval. Stopped interval and ongoing interval. And therefore, if we regenerate the types here, we should be fine now. Sweet. Now let's fix this interval. Let's address this. Who would return this, actually? It's an interface. So its only job is to determine whether its job is to resolve the actual type based on the source. And apparently it does not know the source is an interval. Is an instance an interval? Let's go to time again. Oh, we're in time. Surely there's an interval type. I doubt an instance is an interval. Let's just look for all occurrences of interval on this page. There's a lot. How about just solo words? There's no results. Well, that's rather unbelievable. We don't actually care about intervals that much. But for all intents and purposes, as far as the cogent is at least concerned, an interval we'll define in a mappers file as time interval. And then we'll go into our mappers export type time interval, and it's going to be this or that. And then we'll regenerate our code and we'll be a little bit closer to accomplishing this. Of course, it still doesn't know whether or not it has a stop, but it should at least know that it has a start and a kind, which it does. So now we can just use is stopped interval source, and that should be better. Now all of that satisfied. And I don't think we're using our interval anymore, or duration function. Or maybe we are. Are we calling duration? Nope. That's moment.duration. We're not actually using that function. Let's see if it still works. Everything should still work. All right, let's look what we're doing here. Don't need that clearly. Input must be milliseconds since Unix epoch. All right, got ourselves a bug. Input must be, who's giving us that error? Are we creating the error? That might be a moment thing. I'm guessing this. So time start humanized. So time start humanized. Let's see if it's the way our data is stored first, since we can just quickly check that out. That doesn't appear to be the case. So the next thing to Determine is how it's being resolved. Oh, actually, this makes sense. Because this is actually coming from GraphEng. Graph engineering. All right, formatted date. There it is. So the thing is, time ongoing interval. We need to have functions here. It has to be milliseconds. Currently, it's moment. That's the problem. So this has a start, for example. We need to take this time and get time dot start dot value of. And we need to do the same with stopped interval. But we also need to do that to stop. Let's see if that works. Sweet. Have I really been doing this an hour? Wow, that's insane. Man, I need to make a sitting desk. Wish I could just pull this down. No. Too risky. Or is it? One second. Okay. There we go. Now my knees feel better. All right, where were we? Okay, I'm getting distracted. So this started an hour ago. About. It's an ongoing interval. How do I know that? Because I could take this duration out of here, and it would still appear only on this one, because it's resolving as an ongoing interval. That's great. I think this thing's getting really close. Let's delete a bunch of code. Okay, what are these errors? They're in history when we don't really care about history. Nor do we care about message. Alright, I think, honestly, I can just kill all those mistakes. Getting archive. I just realized that in time we have something that we can change at the very bottom. Oh, it looks like I already changed it somehow. Don't need this. And we're almost done. I'm gonna make a bad commit message, but I don't care. All right. I wonder if this builds. Let's try to build a project real quick. npm run API dev build. Or just build. Okay, could not locate bindings file. I don't even know what that means. What does that even mean? What does this node GYP thing do? I don't know. This is a problem on node modules, so I delete node modules and installed again and it worked properly. Well, that may be actually the case. Yikes. So that didn't work, so I'm going to hard delete node modules and reinstall. If that doesn't work, then I'm going to delete the package JSON and try again. So the next step here is to focus on getting it deployed, I guess, because I feel like it's ready to be used. Actually, I don't feel that way. Yeah, actually, it can't be used because I need to be able to edit tags. And then I can make an interface. All right. Users Joseph Weidinger get personal magic. By the way, whatever happened to my GitHub issue? Cool, that guy's awesome. Interface valid request. Unexpected token. Well, that's ridiculous. May have other errors on there though. Is that the no, it's wait, message index. I have no idea why this is failing, to be honest. I've never really looked at this. It looks like there aren't any graph or any errors in here. Let me look at this server real quick. Is this dealing with message? Yes, it is. Post messages. Messages.handler. Message.handler. And we pass in the schema. So we validate the request. What does that mean? Either response or valid request. Valid sender.chain sender validate message. What does that mean? Either from nullable. This way of coding looks kind of weird, to be honest. Responses.errors.message is missing. pass in the body. If not, body is expected in the post body. I get it. So if it doesn't have body, it goes to this error. It's an either left. So we're chaining this, and then we're outputting a new box if the sender. So we're validating the sender, then we're validating the message. The sender, yeah, that makes sense. So the handler, after it validates, if it's left, wait, can you still do that? I think we're in the wrong, okay, that's why. I was wondering why that was working. I don't really want to change that now. So I can't really read this as it is, and it wants it to be that way, so it's going to be that way. So we're getting the sender message off of the validated request. Is this typed? Yes, it is. So it's getting the sender message, and then we're doing a making a GraphQL operation. What's this? GraphQL operation from message. So it's making a mutation. Default. Never seen that. GraphQL default. Default. I'm not sure what the default's doing. But it looks like it's just defining variables and what their expected types are, which makes sense. We're creating a new narrative. There's another query. There's some fragments. Makes sense, to be honest. The history part doesn't really make sense because I have never really touched it. But it's getting a document and variables, and it's making a GraphQL request. Wait, where's this? Source. Schema. Where's that coming from? It's being passed in. I see. What about the context? Yeah, that makes sense. Just creating new context. It's awaiting that operation and it's using that to go forward. That makes sense. So what's the problem? Oh, what is this? Twilio. Whatever. It's already figured out. I don't need to change any of this. I shouldn't have to change any of this. So why is Parcel having difficulty? Unexpected token. What a bizarre error. Let's look for the answer. Types is a whole other discussion that got resolved with the release of Parcel Plugin TS, but this is unfortunately was a bit hacky and no longer works. If anyone wants to add type checking to Parcel Core, I'm all for that, but think it should be optional and probably a plugin for Parcel 2 once it comes out. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to do about this. I don't really want to use Parcel. Which the other option is just to use Webpack or use nothing. We don't need to use anything. Hang on, I need to think about how this is all going to connect. So the API needs to respond to multiple APIs. Okay. Needs to respond as like slash whatever. Let's see. Multiple endpoints. Lambda. I don't know. There's a lot going on here. I just need this thing to compile. First of all, I don't need to parcel this stuff up. This is ridiculous. Okay, here's what I need to do. I need to focus on my build. So let's just update for packages, whatever. We need to switch it out with Apollo server, step 1. Then we need to use Apollo server Lambda, step 2. Then we need to Webpack this all up or just TypeScriptify it, step 3. Let's do that in that order. This is only used by me. Therefore, I'm going to do what I want. So Apollo server. Didn't I just do this sometime? Let me look at something I've done recently. GraphQL. Toolkit magic generator. I don't even remember what I did. Wasn't it some project? No. Papio? API? Packages? Okay, Apollo. Apollo server Lambda, npm install. None of this building from the root anymore. This is ridiculous. Well, not building. Running. I don't care, actually, anymore. Let's open up the one here and just kill all this stuff. API test is great. Dev and build, not so great. Although apparently we need this. Let's go into our API. npm run dev, npm run start. Let's make it that. And then we'll have some nodemon thing here, I guess. Build. It'll be tsc. Can we do that? npm run build. Oof. Something went horribly wrong. The problem was I didn't have an output. Damn it. Okay, here's the thing. Git reset. Hard. Damn it. Okay, git remove. I need to remove untracked files. Git clean and git clean and git clean. Git clean F. Sweet. Wunderbar. Alright, so now we need to put that compiler option in there that says out dir. And it's going to be dist. And then we're going to go to packages, API, and put that build command back in there. Let's do start. Node env equals dev. I apparently probably need that because it was there before. Let's do a build command where it's just tsc. Does that work? npm run build. Does it work without creating files where I don't want them? Well, it's complaining about files, but it looks like it's not adding a bunch of files. All right, we can worry about those later. Now, let's go back to the main package JSON and take those things back out. API dev and build. Good. Now we need to uninstall certain things we don't care about and install things that we do care about. So I want everything that's related. This parcel bundler TypeScript, we don't want any of that. Not anymore. I'm just going to uninstall it, actually. No, I'll just take it out like that. We don't need Express, I don't think. Express? We might need Express. npm install Apollo server, npm install Apollo server, and Apollo server lambda. What else do we have in here that we don't need? Do we have that yoga, GraphQL yoga? Because we certainly don't need that. I don't even know how it runs actually. Express. Where's our server file? It's not in here. It's in our index. Apparently it was already in here. That seems... Am I in the right file? Yeah, I guess I am. Maybe we don't need a Apollo server if we're going to be running it mostly here. Run locally. Well, that's Apollo server express. We want Apollo server lambda. That's why. I'm just going to go... Maybe we do want Apollo server express. What does Apollo server lambda do? See, I don't really want that. I want a full-blown GraphQL, or a full-blown Express API. Because I need to create a message. I need to handle message parsing from my phone. Hmm. I could make different endpoints, entrances. I need to know how the pathing is done. So we're bringing this library in, bringing in their app, and then somehow newing up a server. But what's it do with the path? App.get. Because we want to respond to all. We want it to respond to slash message. And we want it to respond to GraphQL. See messages. Wait, app.post. Yes. We need to accept a post from here. And we need to accept a post to GraphQL. So we might not want to change anything actually related to the changes that we made here. We'll get rid of parcel for sure. We may not need these. We definitely don't need this package JSON now. We want it to refresh the next time. So now let's see if we can somehow get our running dev server up again. Let's see. TSC watch. Or we can just use NodeMon. Do I have that thing on my computer? Git personal Papio. Not on there. Let's clone it real quick. This will be useful. Oh, it's private repository. That's okay. Git clone this. CD Papio. Cool. Packages, API, source. Well, what's our dev server look like? It's just an Apollo server. How's it ran though? npm run start nodemon. Okay, we'll just use nodemon. It's not that big of a deal. And let's see, let's just copy our config. Nodemon.json. Do I have a nodemon.json? I do not. New file, nodemon.json. Source dev server. Really what we want is source index. Let's see if that works. Let's listen to something else. Let's listen to the Gladiator soundtrack. All right. Why is this really? This is not the first song. I wanted to start from the beginning. Gladiator. Here we go. Let's do that. All right. So that's our nodemon. And now we want to start up the dev server here. npm run start. npm install. Save. Actually, it's just development thing. We want to start our nodemon config. All right, let's try this again. npm run start. Sweet. Should complain about a few TypeScript errors, most likely. Yeah. So Apollo Server Express. Why can't it find that? I didn't write that. Did I? This was already like this. It's probably because it doesn't have types. Well, it should. Let's look at our package JSON. Look at the dependencies here. Apollo server, we're in the right place. Apollo Server Express is installed. It doesn't look like it's installed. I have no idea how it would be working. Unless it was in the root package. Oh, sorry, Lon.
Hello,
What's
Jeff.
up?
Hello, Internet.
Hello, Internet. Caleb says hello. Internet.
I know no one's listening.
No, I know. Good job. My future self is listening. Hey, does that work for you tomorrow too? Or 3?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Around 3.
Yeah. Okay, back to this. Apollo Server Express. So I don't know why this isn't installed or how it was working before, but I'm going to install it now because it's necessary. The scores package is probably necessary too. I'm not sure what it does, frankly, but it's already there. So let's see if it has types. Types. Cores. It does. Let's install. Let's see if it's installed actually. Cores. It is. It just doesn't have types. npm install dev add types cores. All right. Next step is seeing if it compiles again. npm run start. And this time it's complaining about something that looks to be a real type error. Duration does not exist on type of import magic API schema time index. Let's go to that file. Okay, where are we? Date. Time.duration. Duration. Is it in duration by chance? I'm not sure what happened to that guy, but we're going to have to hunt it down. So we'll go back to the original source and see if it's in there. Duration. Let's see what the complaint is one more time. Time.duration. Duration does not exist. So it's a function called duration. probably not there. It's probably in the index. Unless it were exporting stuff. That's lowercase. Oh, here's the uppercase. Oh, I suppose we did need that. In fact, we can just put this in there. You know what? Why don't we just put it back where we found it? Because it was being used. My mistake. Sweet. Now it should compile. Never mind. Schema context. What are all the problems here? Looks like the editor isn't throwing any errors. That soundtrack is ridiculously loud. So, what could be the problem here? They're all in context. And context is probably the only place that imports this guy. So I wonder if we put this little squiggly... What? Okay, what if we try it again? Alright, now we got a hot mess on our hand. So either unknown, it means that types are just simply not connecting. They're connecting in the editor. I can click into here, but they're not connecting anymore. Probably because I'm running it from this package. So what I need to do, this is why you run things from the root package, I guess. So let's see what archive equals. If it prints out something here, maybe we might have a slightly different error than we imagined. And it printed out nothing. I'm not sure what's going on there, but we need to fix this. My guess is it has something to do with the way it's not able to import things correctly from this position. So the easy thing to do, well, it's not easy, but it will work, I know, is to export this as a package. And then import it. That should work. I don't really want to export it though, because it's not really my stuff. I just copied Connor's stuff, so I feel bad and weird about that. But I don't know if I have another choice. I could create a local package. Yeah, let's do that. So let's go to Magic, Packages, Raw Archive, and let's try to npm pack this. A pack requires a name field. Okay, let's import this project. Or let's just go here, package.json, name. We'll call it raw archive. We'll say version 1.0.0. And let's do npm pack that way. Well, I'm not sure if it's going to pack the right thing up here. All it really needs to do is transpile some files, though. Let's do that. Compiler options. It needs to package them up and put them... First of all, we need declaration. We need the types to be exported. And then the second thing is we need to point the out directory to dist. And then we can create a build script. Scripts, build, and that needs to just do TSC. So does this work? No. That means we probably need to install typescript. So we're kind of divorcing ourselves from the idea. We're not using mono repos anymore, basically, which is kind of unfortunate. But I just can't publish this stuff to the open internet yet. So for now, we'll just do it this way. Alright, it built the files. Let's look at the dist. That looks good. Now, we need to have some sort of hook, most likely. What happens when we do pack? See, you put TypeScript files in there, and it put the dist. That's not what we wanted at all. First of all, let's ignore all TGZ files. Second of all, let's look at that TGZ file. We open it in the Finder. Interesting. It put package in there. And then, well, that's probably right. And it has source and dist. We only want to package up the dist. I'm not sure why I did that. How does pack work? npm pack. So we only want to package up the dist. Wait, what happens when we look at this? Maybe it's actually not a big deal. Because it still points to dist index.js. Yeah, it's not a big deal. The package JSON in there should be just fine. Right here. It's going to look funky. Oh, it doesn't look funky at all. It still points to dist index.js, and so it'll point to this guy. So it'll point to the right place. I'm quite confident now. Furthermore, we could simply try one other thing before we revert to this, which is npm installing save. And we need to get the files from somewhere else, or how do we do an npm install from another folder? With the prefix option. Let's try that. Although that was a very long time ago. Jeez. Prefix. I guess we have to do that prefix thing. I don't know. npm prefix. -- prefix. Some project install some project. I would like to install the dependencies for some project. I know I could cd into some project. Okay, that's not what I wanted at all. Install local package. Okay, let me try this. npm install. Save. Raw archive. What happens if we just try that? Okay, that seemed to work. So let's go back to our index.js. There we go, file raw archive. Now let's see if we can build this thing, or just start it rather. Sweet, we got the same error. But I think at the same time, we can now change the way it's imported. So we'll go to our context file and we'll pretend like this is a real package now, because it is a real package. Yes, that's what we want. And we get the same errors. Are you kidding me? All right, let's try one more thing. How about we npm install from that pack? So we'll go to raw archive and then raw archive.pack or that tgz. We'll save from there and then we'll see if we can start. If not, we will have to try something else. Okay, I don't know what's going on now. First of all, let's see if we can replicate any of these errors in VS Code by reloading the window. And no, we can't. Maybe it's a problem with NodeMon. I have no idea. Let's rmrf node modules and start over. Node modules. npm install, and then npm run start. Bummer. I don't know what to do. Why isn't it finding the types? Can we build at least? npm run build. No, we can't. But for different reasons. These are all in the history file. Let me take out this history file. This is baloney. Let me just take this out. I'm taking out everything history related. I don't care. Don't need this. Don't need this. Okay, that built successfully. Let's see what it built though. Yeah, so it had to include raw archive, which makes sense. So why can't it npm run start then? I wonder if it has something to do with the TS config. Okay, I'm tired of streaming, so I'm going to stop. And a lot of the rest of the stuff is honestly just stuff that I can't show, so it doesn't matter. See ya.